Perfect. All right. Welcome back to another Keaton and Taylor episode. This is a little quick episode today because I'm not at the house right now, but I can still hop on, get a good episode out for y'all. Today we got Justin on. Justin, kind of just introduce yourself, what school you play for, what sport, kind of stuff like that for us.
Got you. Yeah, what's up with y'all? My name is Justin Efebera. I originally out of high school played college ball at Mizzou, and then when I graduated from there, I played at Mississippi College, where I did also my graduate years and master's degree. And so as of right now, I recently just finished my last season of football, and I'm currently training for pro football now.
Nice.
Perfect. All right. You want to start, Keaton, or you want me to start?
You can start.
All righty. So tell us a little bit about your football journey. You said a little bit there, introducing yourself, but kind of a little bit more in depth about it.
Yeah, my football journey, I feel as if it was definitely unique and a lot different than a lot of other people's journeys. I didn't start playing ball until my senior year of high school. So,
Oh,
I played
Wow.
that one year and, like I started at corner and I was a decent athlete, but I was still learning how to play the game. So I wasn't nearly the type of player I felt like I am now, obviously. And so, I went to Mizzou simply because of school. I chose Mizzou because I felt like it was a good place to go to school, but I was determined to still play ball because I just wanted to. And I ran track through high school. So like I said, I was a decent athlete. So I had some type of ability. And so, when I went to Mizzou, I kind of just was persistent in hitting up the recruiting people, player personnel people. Um, and I my decent senior year film. So, it was literally one day I remember when I just got on campus and I walked to the facility. And it just so happened they was constructing a new part of the facility. So I kind of walked in, went to the fourth floor where the coach's offices are, and was able to talk to somebody there. It wasn't until like halfway through that semester where then I got an email back from the director of recruiting saying, "We heard you stop by. We would love for you to join the team." And then that started a series of communication back and forth. I was able to join the team the next semester, which was spring 2020, my
Okay.
second semester of school, basically through a tryout. But by that time, I had a good rapport with the people in the program and stuff
Yeah.
because I had always been in contact. And it was a big tryout, but I went in the tryout, did pretty well, and joined the team through that. So then that was kind of the start of it, in terms of college football for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool,
Uh,
man. So, just out of curiosity, what is some advice that you have for the kids still playing football? High school, college?
Um, Man, I would say, obviously you want to, work hard and always work on your craft, especially the way football is moving now. At the college level, it's getting harder for high school kids to even get scholarships because of the NIL and transfer portal and things like
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
But I would say, just based off what I just said, you got to be persistent in everything.
Yeah.
You don't know who else might be in another situation similar to mine, where all it takes is for them to ask and muster up the courage to go into places that they're not really supposed to be in, just to say,
Yeah.
I want this opportunity. So sometimes it's just a matter of like asking and being persistent and showing that you want something, because you'll never get it if you never ask or tell somebody what you want. So that's probably what I would say.
Good advice. Very
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, that is really good advice. Let's see. So you said you play for Mizzou. What is one thing like during your like freshman year and when you were at Mizzou was what was one important thing that you learned at Mizzou that you kind of took to like Mississippi colleges you continue to play football?
Yeah. I mean, I learned how college football worked, like honestly, like in a general. I mean, I didn't expect much, given that I was a walk on and
Yeah.
I kind of knew that I probably wasn't going to play immediately. But you just learn about the business of college football, especially
Yeah.
at a, SEC level like Mizzou. Like everything is so structured and organized in such a way where there's so many people doing so many things. It's a big
Yeah.
operation. You have your player personnel people, you have your compliance people, you have your players, you have your coaches, you have your people in recruiting, you have your trainers and your equipment people. It's a whole operation. And everybody kind of has to be on the same accord as to how things work, so everything can run smoothly. As a player, I realized what it was to, really play scout team and really be in a position where you're simply there to just help the team. The plan is not for you to play
Yeah.
unless, you are persistent with it and over time that opportunity comes. So I just learned about how everything works. And at a high level, there's so much that goes into college ball, so many people and resources needed and and a whole operation. It's a whole business. And so
Yeah.
there's different parts that need to be on the same accord so it can run smoothly. So I learned how massive it really was, like how big of an operation college football was. There's a lot that goes into it, outside of just what the players or coaches do.
Yeah, because even at shorter universities, which I go to, which is down in
Yeah,
Rome, has the same problem. Like
yeah,
we're considered a football school, but there's so many people behind the scenes running stuff and not just a team out there playing football. So I
yeah.
totally understand that. All right.
So I'm just curious, what was it like being part of the SEC and how
Um,
competitive that is?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, my first season, true season, like was the COVID season. So it was a little different. We had a 10-game season and it was all in conference. But I mean, it was eye-opening for sure.
Hmm.
I think it was a great experience for me. I was exposed to the best talent, going against the best guys every day in practice.
Yeah.
So I think it's everything that you would expect it to be. I mean, facilities were top notch. The structure, the organization uh, of the program was just, exactly what you expect it to be. It's kind of like you got to get with the program and you just got to go.
Yeah.
So I think it was great. I loved it. I really liked it a lot.
That's good. That's very
Yeah.
good. I would think out of all the conferences, SEC is the closest to NFL talent that you will see, as it's probably the most
Oh yeah,
competitive.
for sure. Yeah.
Wanted to be careful how I worded that so I don't offend anybody.
Nah, you good. I mean, it's talent everywhere for sure, but like when you see that type of talent, I mean, you practice with that type of talent, you play
Yeah.
against that type of talent,
Hmm.
and you see that type of, you see all that. It's really it elevates your play as well. And so I think it really I got better. Simply
Yeah.
that I just got better each and every year.
So what team did you always hate playing? Just curious.
Mm, man, I mean, in the early years, I wasn't the one really playing, so
Hmm.
I couldn't really answer that as well. I mean, let me see. Hate playing. I mean, every year we played Arkansas, which was like they're like our
Yeah.
rival,
Yeah.
and we beat them the first year, we lost them in the second tier, and then beat them my third year. So, I
Okay.
mean, I
Hey,
felt like we were, yeah,
yeah, you got a
that was
winning
a good
record against
matchup.
them.
Yeah, I don't think there's any team that you just hated playing, I think it was more so about what your mindset was, honestly. So there was no team that I felt like we were like, man, we just don't want to play. Like, nah, you
Yeah.
don't have that
Yeah.
mindset when you're at that level. You just let's play and let's go and let's try to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Hmm.
very good.
So how did you feel like going from a D1 school? Like how how did you like it playing at a D1 level and then playing at a
Hmm.
D2 level?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big transition, big difference. Obviously you go to shorter,
Yep.
which you said was a football school.
Yep.
Mississippi College, if you don't know, is not a football school. It's not a sports school at all, in my opinion.
No, they played
So
us this year. I think y'all
yeah, no,
played us this year.
I played in that game.
Oh, you were at
Yeah,
that game? I was at that game. I was in the
yeah,
box. So
I started that. I played like that whole game, and we'll talk about that later because
yeah,
I
I
still
got
haven't let that go. But um, it was it was no, it was different, man. Like a big transition. Mississippi College is a school that I would describe is just it's more they more base themselves off academics and that type of
that,
thing.
that's what I've heard.
The athletics aren't, yeah, they're not the main focal point of what goes on campus or what the school I feel like invests into.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a private Christian school, so
Yeah.
that has a little bit to do with it. So it was different. I mean, I came there, the facilities clearly weren't what I was used to. And part of that I was gonna accept, but it's a difference when you see kind of like the way things operate, the way the lack of personnel there is dedicated to certain areas. There's not as many equipment people,
Yeah.
there's not as many compliance people, there's not as many, coaches or
Yeah.
GAs that can literally coach you every which
Yeah.
way or get things done for the coaches. So it was different, man. And personally, I felt as if there wasn't a lot of effort or good effort or structure or organization that was in the program at the time when I got there. Because I got there in 2023. So I played there in 2023 and
Yeah.
2024 seasons. So last season and then this past season. And it was just so different, man. I felt like just there wasn't a lot of accountability
Yeah.
or structure or anything that a good college football program would
Yeah.
have. It was just not as organized and things like that. And granted, I'm coming from an SEC school, so
Yeah.
I'm going to have a certain standard and perspective compared to what Mississippi College was. So that was my first year was tough. I had a tough time. I dealt with injuries, but I just felt as if I was regressing because of the change of environment and all the changes I kind of said. This last season, we actually got a new coaching staff who our head coach had come from D1.
Okay.
And so he kind of had more of an idea of what we
Yeah.
were trying to get to. So it was a little better. It was a little better. Our record still didn't get better, but
It's
it
not
was
about the
in
record.
terms of
Hey,
like
hey, our
what
record
yeah,
this year was pretty bad. So we're Shorter's in the same boat. I think we
yeah.
won
So
3 games this year. So
yeah.
yeah, we had to play. I think Shorter
Yeah.
had to play West Georgia. Then we had to play West Florida. Like we had to play like bigger teams than we
Hmm.
are this year, which sucks. But yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
yeah,
hear
I
you.
agree with you. It's
Yeah.
like
So it was
at
a
a
little better
D1.
in terms of like,
Go ahead.
oh, you're good. My bad. I was gonna say
No, you're
it's a
good.
little
You're
better.
good.
It was a little better from how things were operated, but overall it was a big difference in culture shock. And I think that was it was something that I was constantly trying to get used to all the time.
Yeah, because like at
Mm,
a D1 level, they have so many people, and then they also have the money aspect to it, where you can
Yeah.
get stuff done. Where at like these smaller schools, you can't really do that. They kind of have to
Yeah.
budget it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even
So
as simple as like you're getting done with the workout and they have a whole nutrition department who
yeah,
makes shakes for you. Like stuff like
yes,
that where it's like, it's so you don't have that quite at some D2 schools I'm sure do, like a
yeah.
lot actually. But Mississippi College was not one of them for
Uh,
sure. Like, yeah.
well, Barry doesn't have to worry about that. I think
we're an
Keaton can tell you.
academic school. We're an
Yeah.
academic school only.
Really, really
Yeah.
academic school, but Barry's been to the NCAA championship. How many times?
Well, like what, two, four, five, no, seven? I don't know, something like that.
What what sports do y'all have? Because I've heard of the school, but I don't really know much about it.
We have football, baseball, soccer, volleyball, basketball, lacrosse.
Y'all have
We
a
have,
ton.
we do have a lot. I think
So
football
it's
is,
like, is football like the best sport or what's the best sports there?
I think it used to be baseball or softball or
Hmm.
soccer was the
It's
biggest. I believe now football has taken over.
You got you. Oh man. Is it
Yeah,
D2 or
D2, yeah,
D3? Okay. Okay.
D2.
We'll look into it.
yeah,
Yeah, we actually have a good football team considering all things,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
I'm
we're more
waiting for
academically
Shorter.
driven.
I'm waiting for Shorter to play Barry just one game, just to see what
I think we'd get killed. I
I like. Like even on campus, like that's the one thing like on campus that you see is like, oh yeah, Shorter plays Barry. What will happen? I think
Really?
even though Barry's bigger and they have more money, I still think Shorter would win because of the competition difference.
yeah.
Where is Barry?
It's in Rome, Georgia, right next to the
Oh.
yeah, right next to the affiliate for the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, so y'all are in the same city.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
like 5 minutes apart.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Wow.
would think we would
Okay.
play each other, but we don't.
Yeah. Okay. So
No,
what conference
Barry,
is Barry playing then?
they
I think
are.
Barry just D2. What
So
what
like
is it?
what schools do they play?
Y'all play like Emory. some like no name schools in Alabama.
I was
Like,
gonna say it's a bunch of no-name schools. I got to be
yeah.
completely honest with you.
Okay.
I think the biggest
Okay.
school y'all play is what, Trinity and Emory?
Trinity is a big one.
Yeah.
Trinity has had our number for a few years now.
Yeah, but y'all had a good season this year.
Yeah,
Unlike
it's
unlike Shorter, where we had 3 wins this year, and I was at all those 3 wins.
we made the
Because
playoffs.
of what?
We made playoffs. I mean,
We didn't make playoffs.
it's okay. Maybe next year.
But Keaton, where did you want to go with that next question?
So, how do you feel about yourself coming into the upcoming draft?
There you
Maybe a silly question. Just
go.
curious, kind of where do you think you stand?
Oh, well, no, I know what the situation is. I mean, me deciding to pursue pro football is more so like a decision to more so take things as far and fulfill my highest potential as far as it possibly
Yeah,
can. Just knowing how I started and this past season I had a productive year. I didn't do as much as I wanted to. Like I wanted to go for all conference and even all American, and it didn't quite end up like that,
yeah,
but I was still productive. I still played a lot of snaps, so I was a starter for the team. So that's something I can hang my hat on. So it's more so now me just believing in my own
yeah,
ability, and you know, just taking it as far as I can, and obviously doing everything I can to achieve that. I have the SEC pedigree, I have that
yeah,
experience, and I
Mm,
believe in myself as a player. So it's more so just getting that whole process together, and kind of just giving it my best shot. Granted, I also am finishing my master's program this semester. So I kind of
okay,
have
okay.
that time to finish school while I'm still pursuing that. So the timing is just kind of right. And I felt as if I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't pursue that,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
yeah. I totally understand that.
So, just purely out of curiosity, hope this doesn't happen. Worst case
Yeah,
scenario, you don't get drafted. Do you
right.
continue pursuing NFL or do you pursue a different route at that point?
I couldn't even tell you at this point, I tell you right now, I'm likely not going to get drafted. It's more so like being
We'll
invited
see.
to a mini camp and, kind of going from
Hmm.
there. Um, and like I said, there's no telling at this point. So it's more so like a day by day process and
Yeah,
just every day just trying to make the most of it. So
Okay.
but I could like to answer your question, I guess, if say there's a by a certain time, hey, football is not really, there, or I get, interest from places I'm not trying to go, maybe overseas or
yeah,
whatever it is, then it's kind of just looking forward to the next step. As of now, I wouldn't know exactly what I would want to do. I've
Hmm.
had different opportunities and internships and sales and things like that. I have a master's of business degree,
yeah,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna have that, and I have a
Oh,
journalism degree. So
yeah, you could
there's
go anywhere,
different
man.
things there's just things I know I could do, but it's more so deciding what I want to do and just kind of going with that.
Yeah, I get that.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
completely understand.
Mhm.
yeah.
So just
Let's.
out of curiosity, what's your favorite NFL team?
Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good
Man,
one.
you guys had a very good run with Tom Brady.
Yeah, man. It's not looking too good right now, but we'll be all
Jake
right.
May looks pretty good.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel as if we're a better team than our record says. I think we're just played in a lot of close games, and we're not explosive enough on offense.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah, I could agree.
yeah,
So
it's one of those things.
I bet you love Super Bowl 51, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
I'm a Falcon fan, so that one sucked.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know how y'all did that. I didn't. I couldn't believe we won. I was like, oh, we really did that.
I don't know how we
Um,
did that. We're still trying to
yeah,
figure that one out.
yeah. No, y'all ain't been the same since, but it'll
We
be
have
okay.
not. It's okay.
it's all good. My team made the playoffs this year, so we're good.
My
Who's
team
that?
can.
I like the Rams. I like Matthew
Okay,
Stafford.
okay, yeah, yeah. And
You heard the
Falcons,
difference
yeah,
between the Rams versus the Falcons reaction? Falcons was, ooh. Rams was, oh, okay.
yeah. Like
Well,
you
like
guys did win the
we,
Super Bowl like
I
what, three
understand. It's
years ago?
fair.
yeah. I mean, like Rams almost didn't make the playoffs this year, and then we went on a stretch the last
Yeah,
couple weeks, and we
very
clinched
true.
playoffs. So we'll see how Stafford does it this year. in the
Pelicans
playoffs.
can make the playoffs. It's just completely out of their
Yeah, it's
hands.
seeing if they can keep it. Like, because you have like the Ravens who have their lineup. You
Yeah.
have the Eagles
We could get
who
killed
have,
if we made the playoffs, but
yeah,
it'd be nice to see us in back in again.
yeah. We'll see. But where are we gonna go with these questions? So, we'll go more on the faith route because I want to see. So, me and Keaton are big on our faith. That's kind of one of the reasons why we started this podcast. So, how do you
Mhm.
kind of incorporate God into football, like for you personally?
Yeah. I mean, I think football had a lot with me growing closer in my faith. Honestly, when you're a player and you deal with the amount of stress and pressure to perform
Yeah,
and be a good student athlete,
yeah,
all the things you have to balance, you get to a point, at least for me personally, where you kind of have to lean on something that's not flawed.
yeah,
So,
Hmm.
for me, it was like it got to a point where especially when I decided to leave Mizzou and enter the portal because I
mm,
wanted more playing time and I no longer wanted to be a walk-on. I
correct.
wanted to get paid to go to school.
Yeah,
Um, that was a tough point. That was a tough process for me because there was a lot that I didn't know. And obviously, going through that process, that transfer portal, as we know now, is really no joke,
yeah,
you know. And so, I mean, that was a moment in time where I probably did a lot of prayer. And there's been several instances like that throughout my football career before and after where, you know, um, it's like you have to rely on something bigger than yourself.
yeah,
You can talk to people, you can do this and that, but I think, the prayer is what gives you the most peace, the most reassurance that regardless, it's everything's going to be good. It's going to be okay.
right,
So that kind of it was really the struggles and the downs that really caused me to be like, okay, like I have to have something to lean on so that I can give myself peace to know I'm going to be taken care of regardless. So that's where like my faith in God. I've always been a Christian, my whole life, but I think when it got to that point of me and my football journey, it was more so taking it to the next level.
good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what NFL player do you look up to the most, and which one do you model yourself after?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I think from my position, I play safety. So there's a lot of guys that I look at that I really like to model my game after. One is Buda Baker for the
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just the way he plays, like he more so is branded as like a leader. I kind of like to see myself like that. So like the way he leads, the way he's vocal on the field, I feel as if that's something I model myself after, or try to. There's a lot of other guys. I think Justin Reed for the Chiefs is one I'm a big
Hmm.
fan of. I'm a Patriots fan, so I love Kyle Duggar. The way he
Okay.
plays. I think he's really talented.
Yeah.
And just so guys like that, I would say like for a younger guy that's kind of came in the league, the guy, number 6 for the 49ers, I think Mustafa. I love the way he plays. I think he's like a really aggressive like run
Hmm.
stuffer, and he hits. But I mean, it could really be so many other guys too. But I mean, those are just a few. For someone who watches the game and see how
Yeah.
others play. I
Yeah.
think those are guys that I really, really like enjoy watching play.
Yeah. Those are good guys.
Tyrann Matthews, another one too.
Man,
Yeah,
you're naming all the
yeah,
big stars.
yeah.
Let's see. All right. So, how do you like recharge yourself? Like as you said, like college is stressful. Like being a student athlete, performing in the classroom, then having to perform on the field for coaches and all this. But like, how do you take time to like recharge so you don't get burnout?
Mm, I'm trying to figure out if I want to answer this question honestly, because
Okay.
like I don't know if there's things you can do, but I don't know if it's impossible to not get burnt out or to not at
Yeah.
some point get like to the
Hmm.
point where you're like, man, I'm done with this because it's a
Yeah.
long season, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. I totally
Um,
agree. Get that.
so like you're gonna have your moments for sure, like, ah man, I'm tired of this. But I would say I mean, different hobbies. I've gotten big on like prayer is, prayer and faith is probably the number one thing I think for me. That's always gonna keep me going. Um, and I mean, I listen to music all the time, so that's always, a big motivation and stuff like that. And then, when we have our breaks,
Yep.
going home, seeing family, I think that's a big thing too. It's always a retrofit there when I can come home, be in, the home that I grew up in and
Yeah.
see my family and just have a time where I don't have to worry about school or football.
Yeah.
And then,
Mhm.
so those are, I would say those are like kind of the three big things that kind of keep me going. So, those are good areas of getting recharged to
Yeah.
then be able to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned music as one of your big three in there. So
Hmm.
what kind of song do you use as your like walk up song? Like what kind of song do you work out with basically?
uh, Probably a lot of rap, hip hop. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a big like Young Thug and Gunna fan, the whole
Okay.
YSL type of
Oh yeah.
thing. A lot of others. J. Cole is probably my favorite rapper.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, like a lot of others too. Like I could name a lot, and I don't even know if like y'all would even know. But like I don't know if y'all have heard of like Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, rappers
Mm.
like that. They're more like I guess underground is a way you could
Yeah.
say it. More very much older lyrical rappers. So they rap about
Okay.
certain type of things and there's a certain type of talk that they
Yeah.
have that is kind of different than what it would considered like the new school type of rap.
Yeah.
But I'm big fans of them as well. But I also listen to a lot of other genres. Like I love Afro beats. I love gospel. A lot of other things. It just depends on the type of mood I'm in.
Yep.
So it can be whatever you want. The only thing I probably don't listen to a lot is country. You know,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
that's probably the main thing. A few songs here and there, but that's probably the least amount. That and heavy metal. I don't really listen to heavy metal, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I'm all good on
nothing
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an easy pass for me.
yeah.
All right. The only last question I got for you is kind of your favorite Bible verse, kind of
I
the
was about to ask that
Ooh,
one.
go to.
and the thing is, I feel so bad because I'm not gonna be able to say it like word for word, but I
Yeah,
Oh,
know
don't
the
feel bad, man.
verse, and so
you don't
I'm
need
I'm
to.
gonna um I'm gonna look it up because it's basically it's Isaiah chapter 40 something, I believe. And basically it's basically God saying, I will be with you wherever you go. So it goes something like I'll be with you like in the valleys or in the water, something like that. And I'm about to
Oh
look it up
yeah.
so I can
I know
Oh,
actually
what you're talking about.
you probably
yeah, I will be with you in the valley of the shadow of death without
yeah.
no evil. Dadgummit,
No, that's 23rd Psalm, like even though I
yeah,
I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, but I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look it up. But it's that verse right there. Like Isaiah, let me see. So I'm literally pulling it up right now. I will be here. Let me look it up like this.
uh,
We're both trying to do that.
yeah,
We're all trying to figure out which one it is.
Yeah. So it's Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2. It says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not consume you. So basically, I think it's pretty self-explanatory where
yeah,
it's basically saying God will never leave your side, as long as
Mhm.
you are trying to do what's best according to his will.
yeah,
And when I say that, we talked a lot about faith throughout this whole interview, and by
yeah,
no means am I anywhere close to perfect. I probably do the same sins and make the same mistakes that most people in my position, my age, are doing. But, more so when I read that verse or when I hear it, it really makes me understand that like no matter how hard things get, like
yeah,
as long as I am doing all that I can, I feel as if to be the best I can be, he's never gonna leave my side.
yeah,
So that there's a
Mhm.
lot of peace that comes with that.
yeah. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Uh, yeah.
So I got a closing verse if you want, Taylor, and then you can pray.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Before we do that, did you have anything for us? Like any questions from you to us? Or are you all good today?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if he was going to ask him after like the thing ended because I know the time is running out, but like we didn't
Uh,
get to talk a lot before things happened because I know you had when you DM'd me, I was able to look at your profile a little bit. I
yes,
saw
sir.
you're still a 10 shorter, right?
Yes, sir. I'm there
Yeah,
until next spring. I graduate.
nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. And so I was kind of like just trying to I was gonna just ask a whole backstory about like the podcast and what each of you guys were doing, what you were studying, or what kind of,
Yeah,
we
I
could
mean,
talk
once
about
this
that
Yeah.
timer
now. Or
runs
yeah,
out, I can just start another
yeah,
one.
for
How
sure.
much time is left? I don't see the.
There's 5 minutes
Says
left, but what I'll
yeah.
do is I'll just cut from there and I'll just keep
We
going.
got time.
Yeah, we got plenty
Yeah,
of time tonight. Yeah.
yeah.
Like what
Just
do you
kind of
want to
your
know?
guys' just kind of your guys' background. Like, obviously, I'm assuming, I know you guys are big sports fans, and
Yep.
you go into
Mhm.
Barry, you go into Shorter. I played Shorter, so there's kind of a connection there. So I was
Yep.
just like,
Mhm.
oh, let me ask them kind of, where they are in life and what they're doing, and kind of what's the motivation behind this podcast, what's the mission, just kind of where you guys are
Yeah.
in life in general, you know.
Yeah, we're open. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
want me and Keaton have
yeah.
a good different story.
Hmm.
But my story, I was a missionary kid from 8 years old.
Hmm.
We did mission work in Ghana, West Africa. And then when I turned 14, 15, we moved over to Lesbos, Greece, which is near Athens, helping all the people from Syria immigrating to the island from all that stuff that's
Wow.
happening over there. A bunch of mission work. And then, when school, the end of high school and then getting into college, I was at KSU for a little bit, which is Kennesaw
Is
State.
okay. I was gonna,
And
yeah,
yeah, I forget that Kansas State they messed me
Yeah.
yeah.
up a little bit. Yeah, I was at Kennesaw State for about a semester, and then I really liked Shorter and the teachers there. They
Mm,
really took me in and really enjoyed my story, and that I wanted to take sports and Christ and kind of put them together as I move on in my career. And so I transferred Shorter. I've been at Shorter for 3.5 years now, and I'm going into broadcasting. I actually a little update there on the podcast. I actually did my first on air last night. So
nice.
yeah, so God kind of gave me that um opportunity to do that, and we'll just see where it goes. But that's kind of mine. Podcast wise, me and Keaton have been friends for, let's see, it's 2025.
3 years, 2 years. Is this 3 years? Something like
Yeah, I
that.
think it's like 3 years.
4 years? I don't know.
For me, I'm a big sports person. Even though I was a missionary kid, I was always sports. Like that would be the only thing I talk about. I love
Hmm.
getting to know athletes, and none of my friends could really keep up with me. And Keaton can
Yeah.
be a witness to that. And
That
Hmm.
is
so
true.
when I met Keaton at my work, he was the only one that could keep up with me. And last semester, we've been talking about doing a podcast for a while, and we were like, let's do it. I mean, what could?
Nice.
And I did YouTube like highlight videos for different athletes, so I had a
Hmm.
couple contacts here and there, and we just kind of rolled with it, see where God
Nice.
takes us with it. I mean, if we grow this thing, then we grow it. If we don't, it's kind of our little side hobby that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll
So,
let yeah, go ahead.
my bad. So before college, were you like homeschooled, or were you going to like
Yes,
different
so I was
schools in?
so I was homeschooled till high school, and then I did dual enrollment full time
Okay.
with Chattahoochee Tech, which is a little community college, and then I did it with KSU for that semester before my freshman year. So
Hmm.
that helped me out. It was a transition from homeschool to college was a transition,
Yeah.
but um hey, I'm enjoying Shorter. I have a lot of friends, but it is hard at Shorter because Shorter is a transfer school, is what I call it. Like people come into Shorter and then they transfer out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
Yeah.
like my best friend Joshua Brown, who we've had on here, he actually just transferred to a different school. So we'll see where that goes. We just got a whole new basketball team this year. Like everyone on the team is a transfer. Football next year is going to be all transfers. So
Yeah.
it's hard making friends at the school because you don't know if they're going to stay or not. Like one of my best friends, my first roommate, actually plays at Clark Atlanta now. He's their offensive tackle.
Hmm.
It's just like Shorter's great, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's like the it's like you're either a normal student or you're an athlete. And I think
Yeah,
90% of shorter is athletes. So
yeah.
for the non-athletes,
Uh,
it's hard. But
I see.
I like the mission that they're going for. But I'm talking with a few teachers to make some changes. So we'll see where
Hmm,
that goes. But that's my
I
story.
see.
I'm gonna hand it over to Keaton. All right, perfect. My bad on that. If it looks like it's gonna cut, it is. We had a little technical difficulty, but yeah. We'll hand it over to Keaton. Give his story there, and we'll just pick up from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine isn't anything super crazy like Taylor's. I've been a Christian all my life,
Yeah.
basically, mainly because I knew my parents were going there. So early on, I said, "Hey, I want to be with them. I want to see them for eternity too." And then I came to Christ, and then I have grown and gotten closer to God through the years, specifically at college. But I was also homeschooled like Taylor, and for most of my entire school, I think there was like 3 years or so where I went to like a charter school
That's probably why
or
we
like
got
a
along so well.
probably so, but yeah, it just wasn't for me, the public school kind of thing. So I continued doing homeschool. Yeah, I met Taylor at the place we used to work. I have not usually been a big sports fan up until 2018 when I started giving it a chance. Super Bowl 51 was actually the very first game I watched, and
Really?
so yeah, that was I was all excited up until the end. But then I decided to watch Braves baseball. Fell in love with the Braves.
Yeah.
Remember Acuna coming up that season, and he was just electric. So that sparked my love for baseball right there. And then once I graduated, I decided to take a gap year, which to me was the best decision ever because I could just save up money and not do school. I'm not a big
Yeah.
school guy. So it hit a point though where I was like, okay, if I don't go now, I'm not going to go. So I ended up looking at schools. I applied to Barry, got into Barry. Barry was always my dream school. I love the views, love the scenery around there. It was just so much nicer compared to Kennesaw State, which I was looking at, which was just bland and boring looking to me. And yeah, I have changed majors 3 times now and am
Eh,
sticking to this one. So I'm double measuring with computer science and data analytics with a business minor
hmm,
and looking to be a software developer or website developer after college and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, that's cool, man. So what is it that you want to be, Taylor? I don't know. Did you mention that? You say, oh, broadcast, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I for me, it's kind of taking it one step at a time. But I know I want to go back into ministry eventually.
Hmm.
Just because I grew up in it, and to me, I enjoy it, and I know that I don't know if it's my calling, but something to do with bringing sports into it. I know that that's what I felt like that's what he's calling me to do is something to do with sports and something to do with him. So my minor is sport ministry. So that will I'm actually taking my first classes in that this upcoming semester, which is in a couple weeks.
Hmm.
But just to dig more deep into that, and then my major is sports management, just as a broad, just to go into
Right.
sports. But yeah, probably broadcasting. I've looked at coaching because I'm big at baseball. I know baseball the back of my hand. Football. I've gotten better at football, being at shorter football school. Football's easy to pick up at that school, so
Yeah.
I could definitely coach high school football if I tried. But I want to do either high school football or collegiate baseball.
Nice.
So that's kind of where I'm at. This broadcasting job's just probably to see if I want to do this for a while, but
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Nice.
But that's our story. I mean, we're very open about it, but
Hmm.
yeah, we started this just to have fun, talk with athletes, share our story, share y'all story, get y'all out there.
Yeah.
And with you going in the draft, I was like, I want to see if he'll jump on, and you responded
Let's see, by the way.
like, yeah, bless you. Um,
Appreciate it.
you responded like in 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, we'll get
Yeah.
you put on schedule.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking through the DMs now because I was looking for the link and I didn't realize you had DM'd me beforehand for the highlight reel. Because
Oh, no worries.
I was looking at the messages and I was like, wait, I've talked to this guy before. And so I apologize for that because I probably I don't even know when that was, but like I was like, dang, I sure didn't even get back to him. At
Yeah,
that time.
I haven't done that in a while,
Okay.
with school and everything.
Hmm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm glad to do it. I mean, for me, it's easy. I can throw it
Yeah.
together, make it look good. But I haven't made one in a while, but I don't mind making one if you have all the film, I can definitely throw it together for you.
For sure. I got your contact now. So that's something I feel like, yeah,
Uh,
I feel
you
like I
go,
want to do.
you have anything else for him, Keaton?
No, I have no other questions. Do you have any other questions for us, man?
No, I mean not really. You guys kind of answered everything. That was just the point to get to know y'all better, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you have anything for us after, let us know.
Hmm.
Let me pray us out and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, I got
Sure.
the verse real quick for us, and then
Oh, yeah,
you
we
can
can
pray.
do the verse. I was just
So
gonna end
the
it on his verse, but yeah, if we can do another one. I don't mind
Yeah,
anything.
no, like his verse was very good. This one also kind of applies though that I
Oh,
happen to find.
perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Jeremiah 29:11. It's for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.
Yeah.
Figured that would be very good, especially with you entering the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The funny
just
thing
know it's
was
all gonna work out, man.
the funny thing was that was the exact verse I have on that I was gonna read today.
Uh,
So
that's always a favorite too, especially among athletes like that one right there. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
everybody seems to say that. So I didn't want to say that, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
that's a big one too. Yeah.
I mean that's the one I kind of live by. That one in my most favorite is Philippians 4:13.
Hmm.
Um it's dadgummit, I've my mind's not working tonight. It's I can do all
All
things through
things
Christ who strengthens
who
me.
strengthens me.
And that's
Hmm.
a big one for me. So both of those are pretty good. But let me pray us out and we'll end. Um dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for Justin and Keaton jumping on today. And we just put a hand over Justin as he goes through his football journey and the draft, and just keep him focused on you. Keep a covering over him as anything happens. And just be there. And for me and Keaton starting school, just kind of be there for us. Be there for this podcast if you want it to go anywhere. In Jesus' name, amen. So
Amen.
Amen.
thank you
Justin, it's been a
again.
pleasure having you, man, tonight.
Yep, it's been a
Appreciate y'all having
pleasure.
me.
We